Harriet Sharzy Pediatric HIV Clinic at Barrow aims to provide holistic care to children and caregivers who come to them for treatment.
At this clinic we've got about 4,000 children on treatment. Most of them are from the surrounding areas. And most of them here are born with the disease. They don't have any say in their care or the management of the disease.
Alison's patient Mpho contracted HIV from her mother. Both arrived at Barrow at a late stage of the disease. Mpho's mum is in an acute care ward, while Alison found a home for Mpho at a nearby hospice. She is brought to the clinic by her hospice caregiver.
Yeah, I think so.
Alison's been treating Mpho with antiretrovirals, or ARVs, and the child has made a remarkable turnaround.
One of the nice things about working in this clinic is that you do see the same patients over and over, so form a relationship with them, and especially when they start to get better, you feel like you've had some small part to play in that.
As a result of her HIV infection, Mpho developed a lesion on her face, which has eaten away her cheek and palate.
Any other problems? The kids are incredible. They just bounce back. Some of them are on treatment for 2 weeks, and you can see them just come back to life. She's being followed up at the dental school, and they're busy making her an obturator just to block the hole from her nose and making her dentures. And they want to start reconstructive surgery. I think she's well enough now to operate on. Well done. You're so brave, hey?
While ARVs have been available throughout the world since the late 80s, they have only recently been made accessible to those without private health care, despite the fact that South Africa has the highest number of HIV cases in the world.
There was a lot of criticism of the government that the ARV rollout program happened too late. We lagged behind even other African countries. But when the rollout did start, which was in 2004, free antiretrovirals were provided for everyone.
Yes.
Megan is treating a young boy whose mother has recently passed away. He's been brought in by his grandmother.
A lot of the children here, the parents may or may not be alive. Often the older kids have lost their parents, and then the grands tend to be the ones who are looking after them.
By 2010, it's predicted sub-Saharan Africa will have about 16 million AIDS orphans, leading to many child-headed households and placing the burden of care on family members left behind.
Do your children, do they know what's wrong with him?
Yes, then.
And can they help you with medicine and everything?
Yes, they can help me.
All right. So I'm going to write the medicine for you today.
Yes.
And then I want you to go and collect it and come back so we can explain exactly how to give everything. This is quite a classic example of the mum obviously recently passed away, but Gran wasn't really aware of the treatment or the clinic dates and things. So the child's probably defaulted the ARVs for however long, which is why we try and encourage parents to disclose to people within their family and have a treatment supporter.
Even though Megan sees many children who have lost both parents, she remains positive about her work at the clinic.
The social worker? When I tell people I work at this clinic, they always say, "Oh, it must be so depressing." And it's like the absolute opposite. I mean, it's just inspiring. And you can say, we can do something for your child, and your child can live a normal life. See you next time. All right. Bye-bye.
The Barrow Bridge connects the hospital to Soweto. The hospital and community communicate through a network of social workers. Moses Siobi is one of the pediatric social workers at Barrow.
Early in the morning I'll go and we'll do what rounds with doctors, discussing cases. And when there are cases with social problems, they refer to me. Cases such as malnourished children, neglected children. And most of the children who come here and mothers are deceased, you'll find out that the fathers are unknown. So that's why
Moses is working on the case of a premature baby, orphaned when her mother passed away shortly after childbirth due to complications from HIV. Moses has approached the baby's aunt, Boniswa, about taking custody of the young girl, rather than putting her up for adoption. Today, Boniswa visits the baby for the first time.
I have 2 children of my own. They said it's okay, and they even gave her a name. They said she is lonely. It means she's protected.
I enjoy working with people. That's what drove me to do this job. I love this job very much. It's making an impact in someone's life, a positive change in someone's life.
Before Boniswa can take Landiwe home, Moses must do the proper checks and process the adoption papers.
Since having a child of my own, being a father, I feel protective to children. It has given me a sense of purpose in life because I've got people who are depending on me and who are looking up to me as a role model. The kind of job that I'm doing, it's not just like any other profession. It's like being a pastor. You are dealing with people's emotions, souls, and their well-being. It's like a calling.
Moses leaves Barra to do a follow-up visit with Boniswa Setembe at her home.
We are visiting the prospective foster parent of that baby whose parent passed away. So I'm going to her house so that I can compile a report recommending whether it's suitable for the child to be placed in her care.
The Setembe family live in an average Sowetan suburb in a modest 2-bedroom home, typical of the area. But their situation is also typical of a community that's been devastated by HIV and AIDS. Boniswa and her mother take care of the deceased woman's 2 older children, a nephew and Boniswa's own 2 daughters. Boniswa's husband is the only one employed in the household.
Sandile. Uyasebenza. Machine operator.
Now I'm getting the information about the family, how many family members are here.
Moses must be assured that Boniswa and her husband can take on an extra mouth to feed and that they have a suitable home environment for Landiwe.
I feel she has good intentions at heart. I think that child is going to have a good family.
I'm happy. I'm happy to look after her. I'm happy to raise her.
So what we were supposed to do here is just to refer them to social welfare. But in my cases, I always prefer to follow it up till to the end. I always go the extra mile.
Alison from Harriet Shezi Pediatric HIV Clinic is going to the wards to check on Mpo's mother Grace. While Mpo developed a lesion on her face as a result of her HIV infection, Grace, in turn, contracted multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis. Unlike her daughter, she's not doing well at all.
It's just really sad that we've had her child in treatment since March, and she's only started treatment 2 weeks ago, which could be too late. And she looks like she's not going to last much longer, which is just horrific considering what her daughter's already been through, losing half of her face to this awful disease and possibly losing her mom. And also placement isn't very easy, especially for an HIV-positive child who needs plastic surgery. I mean, it's probably almost impossible to find a home for her. I don't think it's an environment for the faint-hearted. It can get a bit much, especially with kids. By working here, you see that there is hope, and even one person can make a difference. So I think if you aren't involved in the HIV world, you do think that there is nothing good coming out of the whole situation. But working here has definitely been able to keep me positive about the whole thing.
With the Setembe family given the green light for adoption, Boniswa comes to take Landiwe to her new home.
I'm feeling happy. Last I'm taking her at home.
Boniswa is taking on a sick child who requires medication twice daily. But if she can adhere to the treatment, things look hopeful for Landiwe. Unlike so many other children in her predicament, she seems to have defied the odds stacked against her.
I feel happy that the child now has been given a place within the family, and especially the child's relatives, blood relatives. This is what gives me that feeling of fulfillment, that what I'm doing, I actually see the result.
Hey, I'm happy.
I'm happy that that child ended up not being institutionalized. I feel so good about it, and I'm so happy for that child. Thanks. I've done something, I've changed someone's life.